This is the Neoliberal Round Podcast. Trying to confuse us with dumb stuff. This case has nothing to do with domestic violence, but yet still, here we have the DOJ's and the prosecution's star witness. Okay, star witness is coming to talk to us about domestic violence and rape. What does that have to do with sex trafficking? Welcome to another episode of the Neoliberal Round Podcast. I'm Renaldo McKenzie, coming to you live from our in-studio chill area right here at the Neoliberal Round Podcast. This podcast, we want to talk about the P. Diddy trial, and we want to ask the question whether or not, having heard there were 4 to 6 weeks of testimony, whether or not whether or not you think P. Diddy is guilty. Is P. Diddy guilty of sex trafficking and racketeering? Racketeering, did he create a racket? Gun running and exploding vehicles and so on and so forth. All we hear about is Kid Cudi, and he wasn't sure whether or not it was P. Diddy that was responsible for blowing up the car. We don't know, so that didn't prove anything. The second thing is sex trafficking, and that's the only incident of racketeering. As it relates to sex trafficking, all we hear about is freak-offs and some amount of domestic violence and the relationship between himself and Cassie and the freak-offs. That's not sex trafficking. Did he go across the U.S. border and forcibly bring people to the U.S.? Did he coerce anyone to cross state lines and pay them to perform sexual acts? We haven't heard anything like that. All we heard of one incident, and that is why one of the jurors today stood up, asked, did he pay that escort? Because the juror and all of us were waiting to hear where sex trafficking, and one moment we hear of something that might be pertaining to sex trafficking, and it was sustained, meaning that the judge did not allow it to go through. So there's nothing that speaks to sex trafficking. All we hear about is domestic violence and the sexual innuendos of P. Diddy. If anything, they're trying to demoralize him and make him diminutive. I do not see anything to speak to sex. We have maintained that from day one, and we thought that and they have 1,000 witnesses. We heard the star witness. She didn't point to anything about sex trafficking and racketeering. And we heard of other supporting witnesses. They didn't say anything. Of the 1,000 witnesses, did we hear of anything that speaks to racketeering and sex trafficking? No, we did not. This is what's going to happen. I'd be surprised if the judge does not acquit and send it to the jurors to make the decision. Because if anything, he's guilty. From the face of it, without being a legal scholar, he's going to be found guilty. Innocent. He will not be. The judge will acquit on Monday if he does not send it to the jury. That's what's going to happen. I'm telling you this, mark my words. On Monday, the judge will acquit P. Diddy because there is nothing that he needs. He doesn't need to send anything to the jurors. If he sends it to the juror, 8 men, 4 women? If one person find him innocent, then he's innocent. He walks free tomorrow on Monday, and that's if they get a chance to deliberate. But as far as I'm concerned, the judge will acquit on Monday. The judge will acquit on Monday. The judge will acquit P. Diddy on Monday. Mark my words. And if the judge doesn't acquit and send it to the jurors will come back probably in either a hung juror, or they will unanimously find him not guilty. A hung jury, or unanimously find him not guilty. But there's no way on earth, on God's green earth, that having heard all the evidence, that P. Diddy is going to be held guilty for any of the things that he said that the case is alleged that he's guilty of. This is the Neoliberal Round Podcast. Over the next couple of days, we're going to be taken to the streets to talk to various of you guys and various people we come across. And we're going to ask several questions. One, did you did you follow the P Diddy trial over the last 6 weeks? Two, based on what you have seen and heard, do you believe that P Diddy is guilty of sex trafficking and racketeering? If he's guilty, why? If not, why not? We're going to be going around asking several people, probably between now and Monday, or now between now and until a decision is made on Monday. We will be asking you. We'll be going taken to the streets for another episode of Street Vibe, another series of Street Vibe right here on the Neoliberal Round Podcast. We'll be taken to the street asking various people their opinions. Do you believe P Diddy is guilty of sex trafficking and racketeering? We actually have Dante Nelson, the co-producer. Dante,
yes.
Welcome to the show, man. Welcome back. Not welcome to the show. You're on the show. This is part of what we do here.
Oh, we're recording.
We are recording.
Okay.
Did you watch the P Diddy show? Did you watch the P Diddy trial over the last 4 to 6 weeks?
I stopped watching it. I stopped watching it after the third week.
Why? Why did you stop watching it after the third week?
Because I started to grasp to what was going on. They were forming a case, and
they were building the case. So you believe that they never had a case in the front. They were just trying to build it as the case was at the trial.
I believe to them they had a case, but they needed the parties to come into play.
Mm-hmm.
The party to play their part.
Do you think that they made their case? Do you think the prosecutors made their case?
I don't.
So you believe that he's gonna walk free? You believe he will walk free on Monday when they deliberate? I think they're set to deliberate on Monday, or they're set to give the final instructions for deliberation to begin by Monday.
I don't believe that. I believe he will be in jail for a while.
But hold on, you don't think that they have a case, but you believe that they're still gonna find him guilty?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Why do you say that?
Because it's still not over.
They have finished. The jury and the prosecution have rested. The prosecutors have rested.
Oh, that's what they were speaking about.
Yeah, the prosecutors have rested their case.
Oh, okay. Well, then I can't speak.
And the defense have rested. I mean, that's it. 1,000 people, 1,000 witnesses, and the star witness was Cassie. The star witness was Cassie. We don't hear anything from the star witness that speaks to racketeering and sex trafficking. I have said just earlier before you came into the studios that I believe that he will be that the judge may acquit the before the jurors even have a chance to deliberate. No, I believe that the judge his instructions on Monday will be, thank you for your time, but we don't need you to make a decision because we're gonna acquit him. I don't see any evidence for any decision for you to make.
Over the past few weeks, it has been very overwhelming and informative.
Yeah.
And interesting.
It's been interesting, but
so,
I'm telling you guys, we don't. It's been interesting because it's interesting because of the drama and the free cars and all those stuff. Absolutely ridiculous.
They have not shown facts.
No, I mean they show evidence, but it doesn't. But that has nothing to do with racketeering. Yeah. But we're going to be going around asking the opinions of several other people. We'll see what happens. The Neoliberal Podcast. Did you see the P Diddy trial, bro?
Yeah, acquitted. I heard.
He got acquitted? You're lying. What the? You been watching the P Diddy trial?
You hear about that?
I mean, I predict
Drop all the charges.
I predict he's gonna be acquitted. Good day, sir. Did you watch the Diddy trial?
Yes, I watched it.
And what are your thoughts? Do you think he's innocent or guilty?
Of what charge?
Sex trafficking and racketeering.
No.
Now, do you think? What do you think? No, do you think that the prosecution made their case?
Well, no, that they don't think they made their case. That's why they're dropping charges.
Oh, okay. So you think he's gonna be found guilty? I mean, innocent.
I mean, I guess it depends on what charges you're talking about. I guess they dropped the charges that they didn't think that they could prove.
Sex trafficking and racketeering. Do you think he sex trafficked people across the borderlines and paid them forcibly?
Yes, I do.
But what's that bring to the fore? Did they talk about that? Did they went to any?
I mean, they talked about it. I guess they couldn't
But
prove it.
on
You know what I
to the
mean?
trial.
But we know, like, he's a freak. We know he did.
No, but the trial was about being.
We know he did what they said he did.
Did
You
what?
know he
But
had.
did they prove it?
He
though?
had
Did they?
drug-laced sex parties.
Okay, but
And you know he hired workers. I don't know. He probably did take the workers across state lines to have
I
sex.
say them, which they sustained. The judge sustained
Yeah, I
the
believe,
one
I believe he
incident.
did that. I just don't think that they could prove it.
And it's got okay. There we have it. There are people who are saying that they believe he's guilty, but the prosecution did not do enough. The prosecutor did not do enough to prove their point.
Maybe they, but you know, I'm
Or maybe they could not. Renaldo McKenzie, Neoliberal Round Podcast. We're right here in Philadelphia on the street, as talking to various people about the Diddy trial as they wrap up and have the final arguments. What do you think? Let us know. Send us a message. info@neoliberal.com. Welcome back. The P Diddy trial is over. I think they finished with the arguments. The prosecution rest, the defense rest, um, and now it's up to then the judge is about to give the jurors instructions on Monday and so that they can deliberate. What do you think? Do you think P Diddy is going to be found guilty?
I'm conflicted only because I didn't keep up with the last, couple court dates.
So you better make
But
that happen.
um,
So you can better make that
so like
happen.
with the testimonies and stuff, you may
Yes.
get some time. I don't think it's probably
But some time for what though? What do you what do you get time for?
might get the racketeering. He might get that.
Wait, okay, who did what? When was he racketeering? When did he do that?
What do you mean? They found the illegal drugs and stuff inside his house. They found the new
But that's not
weapons,
racketeering.
but it's still RICO.
No, it's not racketeering. The only racketeering is when time Kid Cudi says
He
that
blew up his
he
car.
blew up his car, and
He
Kid
didn't.
Cudi said that I don't even know if it's him. So that's not enough. So I don't.
Well, see, I didn't keep up.
Yeah,
But I do know they said it was him. Well,
and the sex trafficking case,
the
we have
lady, the
nothing
woman
on.
at the house that they took, the girl,
Uh-huh.
she said that it was Diddy. So can't really.
Well, I mean, we don't know about the owner of the car said he's not sure. So that's not enough to charge him on racketeering.
But to get
And
the
one of the
illegal drugs
one of
and
the jurors today was like, "Oh, wait, hold up. Did you say he took an escort across the border and paid?" And then the judge was like, "Sustained. We're going to sustain it from the record." That was the only mention of sex trafficking, and it was sustained from the record. And if the juror is jumping on that, it means the juror themselves are saying, "Wait, I mean, are we finally going to hear something about sex trafficking?" I think this is what's going to happen on Monday. They're going to acquit him. The jurors won't even get a chance to deliberate. The judge on Monday is going to say, "You know what? Thank you, jurors, for doing your job." This case, I don't see anything that would warrant sex trafficking and racketeering. I think, if anything, he should be acquitted. This is the Neoliberal Round Podcast.